At what point in your book collection do you admit that you might have a problem with a certain book? As in, you might be collecting too many copies of it. Now, the book that I'm talking about in this particular case is The Lesser Key of Solomon, aka the Goetia. And as for how many copies of it that I own, technically six. If we want to talk about including related books, then we're getting into eight or more. The thing with the Lesser Key of Solomon is that there's not one specific copy of this book that you're ever going to be able to own that will be the quintessential copy, that will be the perfect copy that will, kind of finalize all of it. And if there were one copy of that book that did exist, it would be this one right here down at the bottom. And I'll go through that. Um, but likely you're going to own the Mathers Crowley text of the Goetia. So that's right here, right on top. Now, the thing about this book is that one, it is worth owning, but you probably can just download it somewhere. You don't really have to own an actual print copy of the Goetia. There are a lot of expensive copies around. I managed to snag this at like a Barnes and Noble or something. It's a nice copy that came out in the 90s, or maybe definitely the 90s. And it came out with like this at the same time, the Key of Solomon the King. Now, this is kind of the legit book that you should be owning if you want to do some magic that works. Not to diss the Goetia, but like this is supposed to be actual ceremonial magic, and it's got actual guides to doing that sort of thing. There's a lot more structure there. There's a lot more basis for doing ritual. I just kind of consider it to be more grounded. The seals in Solomon the King, the Key of Solomon the King, are a lot different in utility than the ones in the Goetia, and they're a lot different in design. And I honestly find them to be pleasant, like more pleasant to draw and write out than the Goetia seals. So, um, I highly suggest owning this book if you're going to do any kind of Goetia magic, any kind of Goetic workings, any kind of demonic evocation, because it's going to give you the foundation on which anybody who created a Goetia system that you're trying to base your work off of worked off of. This is the foundation that Goetia is built on. So start with your foundation. Basically, that's the manual that the people who wrote the Goetia would have used if we could say that there's people who wrote the Goetia. It's a bit of a strange book in that we don't even really know how we got this. And I'll get to that. So, this is a nice copy to own. Let's see. The publisher is Wiser. You can see here on the spine. And let me take a look at the date, because I'm kind of curious. This one's a nice one to own. This edition was actually printed in 2006. It's first published in 2000. And this one is a nice copy to own if you're looking out there for not Goetia copies, sorry, Key of Solomon the King copies. This one has all of the figures pretty nicely done. Now, these are going to be redraws. These are basically Mathers's artwork copied off of the manuscripts that they were referring to. That's going to always be the case with the Goetia stuff. I very rarely see any things that are direct photos of the actual manuscripts. I'm not sure if you can actually put them under lights to be photographed with. You have to be able to have very special access to libraries to be able to get access to these manuscripts to begin with. So this is the copy of the Goetia that kind of comes alongside that copy of the Key of Solomon the King. And this is the standard. This is the Crowley edited, Mather's translated slash transliterated copy of the Goetia that everyone's kind of familiar with. And again, published by Weiser. I love that Ankh. The Goetia. Oh, love that self-portrait of Crowley there. Summoning Paimon. Paimon has quite a nose on him. Wow. So this one, 1995. It's where it is when its copyright is from, and it might have been. This is the revised and corrected second printing from 1997. So yeah, a bit of an older book. I'm not sure if they did any reprints after this. It was a pretty good edition, but after the Green Book comes out, people stop playing around with anything else. But as you can see, you get like lots of nice high-quality seals. These are the redraws by Mathers that put them in the circles. Now, before Mathers, nobody was putting these in circles, and nobody was ever putting the names in a circle around them. That's not a part of the original Goetic art. The seals are supposed to be outside of circles when used in Goetic evocation. Anyway, all around, nice print quality, nice size. Books held up over time. There's some Enochian in the back, which is nice. Now, the thing is, this book is not the complete Lesser Key of Solomon. It's actually just one book out of the entire Lesser Key of Solomon. What we're going to look at here is Joseph Peterson's Lesser Key of Solomon. And it's a nice hardback book. It's another Weiser. It's a big chunk. Cover price is $50 back in early 2000. I don't know if that's gone up or down. You can usually find this book on sale somewhere. Like, I think you could find it for probably $25 or $30 if you try real hard. I'll have a referral link at the bottom so that you can find it easy. Now, this is my reference copy, so I've got it tabbed to be able to get right open to the Goetia. In fact, the great part about the Art Goetia is that it's the first book in here. So you just kind of open right up to it. And then from there, you've got the descriptions. You've got lots and lots of footnotes, alternate spellings, alternate pronunciations, translation notes. These are the seals as you see them in the manuscripts. Now, back in the back, you'll see there's some appendices that actually give you comparisons between different copies of the Goetia or different other books. So, all very useful. And this goes through all of the different books of the Lesser Key, which means that you're going to see stuff like this, and you don't really know what to do with this, because this isn't something that anybody does anything with. Nobody really uses the rest of the Goetia book, or the rest of the Lesser Key book, and not for necessarily no reason. One of the things is that, like, one of these books is entirely for notary arts that I'm not sure. It's basically like old law keeping. I don't know if anybody would ever need it anymore. But it's all, like, it's really nice to have the complete thing. It's really nice to have Joseph Peterson go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. It's a very good, very precise copy. Extremely good for reference. So, that kind of gets through my mainstream books. Now, there's a weirdo over here that I've kind of kept to the side. And this is another copy of the Goetia. Aleister Crowley's Illustrated Goetia. This is a betrayal of a title. Aleister Crowley did not illustrate this Goetia. It is illustrated by David P. Wilson, and it says that right on the bottom of the cover. Not that David P. Wilson does a bad job. I think that these are very interesting illustrations. This one's Astaroth right here. Here we've got Marax. And, I mean, it's basically, you know, the whole Goetia in order. Very nicely displays the constellation, like the deckhands, that the Goetia is under, so that you know when their sun is appearing in the sky. Or I think actually this is when they'll be appearing at... I don't know if this is appearing... this is day. That's right. They say it right there. Now, if you go through the whole Goetia, you find that that all goes in order. This is 10 to 20, and then 20 to 30, 1 to 10, going through the... let's see, if we went Virgo to Libra, then yeah, that's the day cycle. So anyway, this is a really good reference. It's a really good, very interesting copy. Now the thing is, the rest of this book is kind of cray-cray. The whole title is Aleister Crowley's Illustrated Goetia Sexual Evocation. And that's largely because of one chapter in the back. And I'm not going to go to that chapter, but I'm going to show it to you in the table of contents. Trancing out and sexual ecstasy, Goetia evocation and the orgasm of death. That sounds all super serious, but basically, two people get together and one becomes the demon and the other has a lot of fun. Is what that recipe seems to be, and I'm not even sure if you need to buy the book to figure out how to do that. But that's that one. There's a lot in here that has nothing to do with that, so it's one reason why I'm kind of frustrated about the advertisement of that so much. Lon Milo Duquette is one of the contributors here. Christopher S. Hyatt is the other contributor. Those are the two who are doing most of the writing. The reason Aleister Crowley is even drug into this is because there's a chapter here that's the initiated interpretation of ceremonial magic, and that's Crowley's stuff. And Lon Milo Duquette is like in the Crowley school of magic. So you've got that lineage going on. Otherwise, he doesn't really have much to do with this. If you want Crowley's art, actually, you should go back over here into this book, because Crowley did actually draw the demons, and some of his drawings are in here. This is Ammon by Crowley. Now, some of his drawings were not they were not safe for G-rated times, so I have to be careful about what I show you. Whoa, yeah. I am looking for a drawing, another drawing by Crowley I can actually show you without getting... Oh, here we go. No, wait. Nope. Nope, that was actually not friendly. It looked like it was, but it wasn't. Crowley's not a very YouTubeable artist these days, I've noticed. There's a lot of other art in here, so let's just not worry about it. These two over here are going to be very hard for anyone to get, and at some point I'm going to do a full tour through them. Right now I just want to give you a brief glimpse. This is the Offices of Spirits, which is the basis for the Goetia. This is the farthest back that we can find evidence of a Goetia type of book. And this is a very nice limited edition, cloth-bound, fancy copy by Tatum Press. And it's after Hockley's original title page. Like, this is basically a good facsimile / translation type of thing. And, like, very good analysis. It's a very good scholarly copy. And you may still be able to find them out there on the original website. I'm not sure. Now, the thing is, the Offices of Spirits is a lot shorter than what you think of as the Goetia. And usually the Goetia is, like, a lot shorter than you think, and then the rest of the book is full of other stuff. This one is a lot shorter because it just lists the names of the spirits and then the description, and there's no seals. There's really no visuals for you to tack with. There's no charts. It's just lists. So there's a bunch of lists of different kings and a bunch of different names that all sound similar to Goetia you've heard of, but and some of the descriptions are the same too. The first is called Belial. He giveth dignity and promotion, and he giveth love and favor of all persons. He appeareth in the likeness of a fair angel, and speaketh sweetly. That is sort of like the Belial that we see in the Goetia, and it's also sort of not. So it's a very good reference copy. I am not sure if this is limited or not. Let me see. It would be in the back or the front if it was a limited numbered edition. Yep, it is. It is a limited to 800 numbered copies. This one's number 598. So if you find this out in the wild, then you're kind of lucky. I got this. This was a 2011 edition. It looks like I managed to get it a couple of years after it was printed. Now this I got right off the press. I got this signed by the author. The author is Colin D. Campbell. Good luck finding him. Pretty sure it's a pseudonym. I saw him speak at the Esoteric Book Conference in Seattle back in, I think, 2015, 16 or so. And it's of the art Goetia. This is basically the Goetia plus a lot of analysis. Every single demon in the Goetia is given a whole spread's worth of analysis, comparison between different editions, personal notes the author has found through his own studies. He's also a practitioner, and he definitely does like academic stuff at the same time, so he kind of brings both of those lenses to the analysis. It's a very nice edition, very fancy. I'm actually pretty proud of the fact that I was first in line to get mine signed. So, Felix, hope you enjoy. I'm pretty happy about that. Let's see. It was 720 copies total. This one was 435. Very good book if you can find it. If not, I asked him myself. It's like, hey, you know, I've got the Peterson copy. Do you think that's good enough for reference? And he's like, oh yeah, Peterson is pretty much the definitive copy. This is for if you want to be special. So over here we have independent artist copies. I have 2 of these, and actually this first one up here is a set of 3 pamphlets. The artist actually put out a series of coins in a Kickstarter, and this book collects the images of the coins and gives descriptions of the demons so that people could actually understand the coins that they were being given, or that the coins that they were purchasing in the Kickstarter, and identify them. And it's a very nice, complete copy. It says, after the Hebrew of Dr. Rudd. So you have like different pieces of information being brought together into one manuscript here. It's a nice, unique copy of the Goetia, and it's broken up into 3 pieces so that it could be easily saddle stitched. It's nice that the way that he organized them. Actually, we have kings and dukes, princes and marquises, earls, presidents, and knights. So different organization than usual. And also came with this right here, which was a poster, which I don't feel like putting up on my wall, because I don't want them all up at once, but it's a really nice reference. I would like to put it somewhere in a place that's kind of more dedicated just to working with demons. Breaks up all of them into different sections. All of their seals are nicely rendered. I really like all the Hebrews here in a chart, so just really nice, fantastic reference. It was a wonderful project, and I should tell you the name of the artist, actually. inside here, it's Trail Tech Industries, Treltek. Um, the Lesser Key of Solomon.com. I don't know if that website's still live, but that was the URL for the project at the time. And then last here we have a friend of mine who is a wonderful artist and an amazing illustrator who did his own copy of the Ars Goetia. And this is Lucian Stevenson. Mr. Lucian is usually what I know him by on like his various websites and stuff. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of this because this is his own personal artwork of the Goetia, and also you can find all this artwork on his website, so it's not like this is the only place you'll ever see it. But he did this really neat thing with the seals where he put a circle over them instead of around them, which I found interesting. So here we've got Baal. That get you down so you can actually see that. I'm going to open up the middle, and we get Furcus. You randomly get Furcus. There is actually typesetting and description here of the demon. And then in the back, here's Dantalion. And all of these are very original interpretations of the Goetia. Some of them you can really get from the description. Some of them, I mean, if you read the Goetia, you'll see that some demons are not very well described at all. And so you're always going to have to be taking some liberties with them. Lucian's art of them is very thoughtful, very interesting, very amazing. And I'm really proud to have this as part of my copy, or part of my collection of the Goetia, because like it really brings the art to it in a way that I don't think the other copies really do, even though they have art in them. This really centers the art. I want to just kind of like show off this copy. There was a hardback copy as well as a soft cover. I only managed to nab the soft cover. Sometime he had another edition of this that he sold on his website again at one point. So if you keep an eye on his website, maybe you'll get lucky and he'll have these again sometime. Who knows? But that's it. That's my copies of this demonic book. If there's one thing that the demons will do, it's... Just for the record, the camera shook just now, but that's because my foot hit the tripod. Demons didn't make the camera move. But if there is one thing that demons will do, it is make you buy a lot of books.